What's up, guys? Frank with Linemaker Sports here to give you guys your monthly report for the month of January, the beginning of 2021. We're going to talk about our overall record, exactly how many units you should be up, and how the month went, and we're going to break it down individual, sport by sport, exactly how we did. If you remember, you know we do this every single month, but it's a little bit different this time. Reason why it's a little bit different is we've added a betting tracker into the members area for all members to use, so that way you're going to be able to track your bets as well, right along with us. So at the end of each month, you should really be able to match up with what we got as well. So without further ado, let's jump into the laptop, and I'm going to show you guys exactly the sports bet tracker that we are using, that we have here now for all the members in the members area. All right, so let's start out as this is what it looks like. You can see right here, you could just see this is throughout the whole entire month. Your wins are in green, your losses are in red, and you could just see how the whole month, this is how professional sports betting goes. All right, guys, so I will scroll through this whole month. You will see what happens. You have long win streaks, you have short losing streaks, you have back and forth days. You could just tell it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. You do really well, you have some bad days. It's just the way it goes. All right, so overall, you can see on your right hand side over here, if you follow see my cursor, you can see on the right hand side, this is what we did overall this month. All right, a pretty average month, to be honest. It was a pretty average month, mediocre month for us here at Linemaker Sports. We ended up making 12.37 units. We were hitting at 61.04%. All right, and then the money wise right here, where you can see the net profit, this is just one of our unit sizes that we use for one of our betting trackers. So this is just one of our sheets that is an example that we use at $500 as a unit. Our unit size is $500. So we made almost close to $6,000 in the month of January off of our unit size being $500. All right, so now let's jump into the best sport, followed by, we're gonna go all the way down to the worst sport for the month of January. All right, so you can go over here and we are gonna jump in here and decipher this a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and start with our best sport of the month for the month of January is going to be NHL. All right, so NHL was our best sport of the month, and it didn't really start until about the 13th of January, so not too big of a sample size here, but we do end up going 15-6 in those 21 games that we bet on in the month of January for NHL, which ended up netting us 7.13 units. All right, so as you can see right here, this is what the month of January looked like for NHL. All right, so we ended up getting 7.13 units for NHL. Now, moving along, let's go to our second game, our second sport. Our second sport that we did the best in for the month of January is going to be soccer. Now, soccer, we ended up going about 12-3 plus 5.91 units. Okay, so plus 5.91 units. And that was pretty solid as well. Soccer usually comes in at a pretty solid mark, just because, you know, we're always pretty solid in soccer, but there is some big favorites that we do take in soccer, so that's a reason why that the unit size, or, you know, your gains are a little bit lackluster here and there. All right, so now moving right along to our third best one. Our third best one for the month of January is going to be college basketball. Now here's your little example here of college basketball. As you can see, there was a lot of times during this month of college basketball where it was just back and forth and back and forth, back and forth. Like, you get a win, you get a loss, get a win, get a loss. A lot of that. And then, like I said, look, you can have your breakthrough days where you're hitting 5 straight, or here we had about like 6 or 7 straight. That's just how this game goes. That's how it goes. So college basketball was 32-23, good for plus 4.61 units. All right, so we made 4.61 units there, which is pretty decent, not too bad for the month of January for college basketball. Now, moving right along, our next best sport was the NFL. The NFL wasn't that much going on because it was basically just all the playoffs. In the NFL, we end up going 7-4. All right, so 7-4 in the NFL, we end up gaining plus 1.63 units, being 7-4 in the NFL. All right, like I said, it was basically the playoffs here in January, so small sample size of really what there was in the NFL season. But in the month of January, we end up going 7-4, gaining 1.63 units. Now, moving right along to the next sport. This is number 5 that came in at number 5 this month is going to be UFC. Now, those of you that are members, UFC is usually up there in the top 3, maybe top 2. Reason why, there wasn't that many events, so it was kind of, you know, you had to pick and choose. There was only a couple events in the month of January because they were taking breaks, but we end up going 5-2 and turn a profit of 0.77 units. So we almost gained about a unit in UFC, but small sample size, like I said, because there wasn't that many events going on, which that obviously is going to improve over the next couple months. Now, let's get into the two worst sports. Worst sports of the month are going to be college football was one of them, which wasn't really that bad, honestly, and there wasn't much there because there was only the playoff and the national championship really in the month of January. So we end up going 4-4, and we give back about a half a unit, 0.52 units to be exact. That's what we end up giving back in college football. Again, very small sample size in January of college football, but we go 4-4 and give back about a half a unit. Now, get to our worst sport of the month. The worst one of the month is going to be NBA. So NBA cost us a little money in the NBA this year. So it's been a little bit different in the NBA, a little bit of getting used to, adjusting to. We end up going 18-20. All right, we give back 6.16 units in the NBA. All right, so that was our downfall sport out of all the sports throughout the month. That was the worst. And college football, you really can't say it was really that bad because it was 4-4 and we only gave half a unit back. But NBA did cost us a little bit, cost us 6.16 units. As reason being, like I said, NBA is a little different this year with no people in the stands, a lot of weird stuff going on with the playing on back-to-backs and the injuries and people sitting out, the COVID stuff. So a lot of weird stuff going on to try to adjust to get used to. So we give back 6.16 units. We go 18-20 in the NBA. All right. So that right there sums up for you all of the sports for the month of January. Like I said, we end up going 12.37 units. All right. So we end up making 12.37 units, which is mediocre, but still turning a profit and hitting at 61.04%. Not too bad, but definitely we're looking forward to the month of February to be better than January. We always look for that. Like I said, we always look to be better and to gain more. But hopefully this right here, this betting tracker that I showed you guys, this stuff can help you guys and you'll be able to track along with us to see exactly what your profit is day in and day out, week in and week out, and month to month. All right, guys. So once again, I will go through the numbers. As I said, for overall, we end up making 12.37 units in the month of January, and our win-loss ratio ends up being 61.04%. And like I said, the money aspect that you guys seen on there, that's just our example of a unit size that we use in one of our betting trackers. So you plug in your unit size to whatever, and it'll pop up how much money you made as well. All right, guys. So mediocre January, but pretty decent. Still turned a nice little profit there for the month of January. And we're looking forward to pushing on to February and the rest of this year, guys, because there's a lot going on. All right. So as always, guys, I'm Frank with Linemaker Sports. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, I'm out.